Hey Gerard, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. Not nervous now.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Did you get that at a show?
No, I didn't know. I never saw them live. Did you ever see them?
Yeah,
live?
I've seen them a few times. They're amazing.
I want to see them so bad. Actually, I wanted to ask you that. What's your favorite Iron Maiden song?
My favorite, probably Aces High.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Power Slave's my favorite album.
I wanted to ask your opinion. I've had some discussions with several artists about the fact that when you're an artist, you're automatically linked to what you do, like the creations that you make, as a person. Now, how do you feel about that link? Do you think that there is a link between an artist and his creations, and do we take the two in consideration or not?
Yeah, I think there's definitely. I mean, for there to be like good work, you know, there absolutely should be the link between the creator and the creation, you know. I think absolutely that's the really good stuff. How much is read into that is another story, you know, like, or how much of the band is any one member of the band, like, as far as like how it represents them is a completely different story, you know, like My Chemical Romance and me, for example, it's only really one facet of the kind of person I am. It's like one small part of what I am. So it only represents like really, you know, a small part of me.
But it has to be a part of you.
Yeah, it has to be. For it to be good, it absolutely has to be.
Because I had discussions with Just Jack. I don't know if you know the artist from the UK, and for him, he keeps that completely separate. Like, imagine that someone's singing love songs and stuff, and singing about respect towards people, and then he's a complete asshole behind the stage.
Right.
I mean, if I look at that as a fan, I wouldn't be able to listen to that person anymore. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't either. You know, it's like, but you know, if they're not genuine off stage, I don't know how I necessarily feel. But like, there's a famous painter named Caravaggio, and apparently he was like one of the worst people ever. You know, like he would constantly like challenge people to like sword duels, and he was a womanizer, but he was an amazing painter. So it's like, once you know that about him, does that make his paintings any less beautiful? And it's like, no. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know how much you're supposed to take out of somebody's personal, how they act off stage. I think that's irrelevant, but I think there should at least be a connection to.
Don't you think? Imagine that. I mean, it depends on what he paints, but imagine that he's painting about respect. I mean, it should be difficult to do, but and then he's like fake. I mean,
maybe music is a lot easier for people to be phony, you know, in some ways. And so, I mean, there's a lot of, like, phony stuff like that. And, you know, people sing love songs that are just, like, they've never loved a single day in their life, and they don't know what it is. And they just know how to write a good pop song. Or somebody wrote it for them, and they're just, like, a vehicle for it a lot of times. But I think the good stuff has to really come from the heart. It has to mean something.
Yeah. Well, you just said that for you, My Chemical Romance is a part of the person that you are. Mm-hmm. But when I talk to fans, they see you as a certain person. They label you as a certain person. Right. They have this image of you almost like a hero.
Right.
How do you feel about those things?
I don't know. I mean, you know, some of it's flattering, you know, but then some of it is like I'm not, like, it's not my goal to be a hero, you know. It's I think sometimes maybe they have and understandably so, maybe there's a difficulty in differentiating this on stage and on CD persona from what the person is off stage. I think a lot of people would find me to be very boring off stage. But
yeah, not about the boring part. I mean, but the essence is still there, and the things that you say between songs, especially like in the earlier days when you were talking about how girls should have their respect and my English sucks today.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, you know, I find myself saying a lot less of that kind of thing these days simply because I felt like there's a lot this band has said, and I think that's great. And I think now when we play live, it's more about playing together, really enjoying that moment, and just really being a rock band, you know. And I think we've made a lot of statements, we've said a lot of things, and I think that that's cool. We did that for years, and now it feels nice to kind of get up there and not say anything and let the song speak and just do that. Because sometimes that stuff can detract from the show, you know? Like, sometimes people just want to come and see a rock show, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know? So.
That's true, but I think a lot of your fans, they probably want to see something more, something from the heart, because that's also
right.
Their
but the performance can also be that, you know, without the words in between. I think absolutely, like, I would rather see an extremely heartfelt performance than a performance with extremely heartfelt messages jammed in between the songs. Yeah. I would rather feel it while they're playing, as opposed to them having to explain it. You know, I think it's the not wanting to explain anymore. Yeah. That
I actually have something to ask you, if you can answer.
Okay.
I mean, don't. But I've always wondered, like, as an artist, it's something really creative. It comes from your heart, and then you sign a deal with a record label. There's this business side that comes into it.
Right.
How difficult is that to combine the two?
It's up to the band. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be difficult at all. It's not difficult for us. Yeah. Signing to a major label is no different than signing to an indie. And you need to sign to an indie sometimes, you know, to get your record out. So.
Do you have, like, all the creative freedom that you want to do?
Yeah, but that, again, is up to the artist. Like, that was our choice. And that is the kind of deal that we structured, where it was basically operating as if we were independently run. Yeah. And we're allowed to make our own decisions, creatively especially. And then anything else, it's like we just, you know, we use them as a tool, the label. Like, we ask their advice. You know, why wouldn't you? Like, they know how to sell records. We don't. We don't care. So it's like, if they want to, we just want to get our music out there to a lot of people. For them, that means selling records. So if we say, what do you got? You know, we wrote a whole record. We're not going to sit here and argue with you over what the single is. What do you want? You're the record company. And they'll say, oh, we want this. We'll be like, okay, we're proud of all the songs. I see a lot of bands fighting with their label, like, no, that can't be the single. It's like, why'd you put it on your record? Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're not proud of a song, that means you wrote it, so it would be a hit, and then you want the label to pick it so you can argue with them, and yada, yada, yada. It's like this weird kind of self-lying thing I see a lot of bands do.
Yeah. And what's in the future for My Chemical Romance? Because we wonder a lot.
Yeah, in the future, let's see. All right, we're going to finish up touring off this record. I don't know when that'll happen. It may be March next year. There's a lot of places we haven't been, like South America. And then we'll stop, take an extended break, and I would not expect a new record from this band. It's 2007? Yep. Next year's 2008. I wouldn't expect it till at least 2009.
Jesus, Gerard.
Yeah. But
what are you doing to us?
Next year, we're touring. We're still on the road. So, yeah, so then we'll get together, make another record, and then figure out how much touring we want to do. You know, we've never taken a real break, so I think it's time.
Yeah, you deserve it also.
Thanks.
Yeah, but I mean it. But it's difficult for the fans to accept that, and I understand.
I know, no, and it is, and it's difficult for us to accept too. I mean, like when you physically need a break, and then you go on a break, and then you want to be out there playing, you want to be making songs, but you have to stop yourself because you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna get hurt. And there's like, this band's never stopped. There's been a lot of injuries over the years. There's been a lot of moments where people have had to go home because they get injured. You know.
I think the true fans will understand and will grant you that break also.
Yeah.
One last thing that I wanted to ask you that's very personal. Okay. But with TasteitTV, I think you know a little bit what we want to do.
Your personal questions are usually really good, and they're not the personal questions that you're thinking. I get lousy personal questions all the time, but yours are actually just insightful, personal opinion questions. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say anymore now. Thanks. Thanks a lot for that. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna swear there.
You should. It's your show.
Okay. Well, fuck you.
Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. Say it.
Oh yes. No.
Oh, you can't say the F-bomb?
No. Hey, we can say everything. I don't believe in that stupid censorship. I think it's really bullshit. No, I mean, yeah, I can get so nervous about that. No, but what do you think about that? I mean, imagine you're saying people, oh, you can't say fuck, oh, you can't say this or that. Does that change anything to the person?
No, I mean, you know, the only thing about swearing is it occasionally can make you seem not as intelligent as you are. And that's the only thing. Like, my intelligence definitely drops sometimes on stage and I curse an awful lot. Just because I get so excited, you know? Yeah. Can't help it.
You're from New Jersey.
I'm from New Jersey. We curse a lot.
I know. I have some friends there, and I know they do the same thing. But I think that's cool. I mean, it's a part of who you are, and people should be allowed to be who they are. I mean, where does this fake stuff in this world come from? I mean, yeah, Gerard, help me out here. Where does it come from?
I don't know.
No, but seriously, I mean, in the media also, do you, like now, I see a lot of things happening that they almost encourage people to be cool by bashing other people.
Yeah. All right. Coolness is one of my least favorite things in the world. It's always been one of my least favorite things. I didn't like it in high school. I didn't like it growing up. I didn't like it in art school. I don't like it now. I don't like it in music. I think it's elitist. It's lame. And most of those really cool bands are some of the wackest, lamest bands around that make no good sense at all. Like, can't write a melody, can't write anything. Can't write anything that speaks to people. They can write like a cool dance beat and have like funny hair and weird pants, and that's about all they can do. And then they go away after like 4 months. And so they keep being cool or whatever.
Yeah, but like the fact that they encourage people now to be like this snobbish person, I mean, it's a bit weird to see where that comes from. But, I mean, we want to try to make this different, and I hope we can do that. And I think we can with our interviews, because we want to try to see the real person behind. That's why I'm asking you these annoying questions. Mm-hmm. Do you think we can achieve that, honestly?
We can achieve, like, a lack of... Nah.
We can change.
I don't know, because, you know, it almost needs to exist in order for really heartfelt, honest things to exist. You know, for every, like, snobbish, elitist, quote-unquote cool band out there kind of needs to be that in order to be simply, like, honestly, like, working-class rock and roll, you know, which is, like, what rock and roll is, and it's for the youth. It comes from kids that were raised working class most of the time, and it's honest. It's not cool at all. It's not supposed to be cool. Like, you're supposed to come to a rock show because you're not cool anywhere else, you know? That's the point. Like, you know, how could you have a hip band play, like, there'd be nobody in the room. You know what I mean? Like, if only the cool people are allowed in, there'd be nobody coming to the shows. So, I don't like cliques or elitist groups or anything. I don't think you could change it. I think it does need to exist. You know, it's like you gotta have a negative for a positive all the time.
Maybe. I think I'm gonna try to prove you different.
Alright, that'd be cool.
I'll do my best, but I'm going to have to leave you now because you have to get ready. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
a lot.
Yeah, and
always
hopefully...
Have a good time. We're going to cover a CCR song tonight, so...
Yeah?
Creedence song, yeah. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I think we got to play it for the BBC, so... Yeah? We said, alright, we'll play it live, see how it goes.
Cool.
Take care.
Yeah, take care,
Bye-bye.
Gerard. Thank you so much.